Happy Wednesday. I am up and at 'em early today. It's just now 7 and I'm on my way to pick up one of my former firstie teenies because she's dropping her car off at the repair shop and I'm going to give her a ride to school and a ride back. So she lives in the same town I do, so it's pretty handy. It's really cool because she was Caitlin's Jumpstart kindergarten teacher. You know, they go the summer before kindergarten. She had her for that, and she also had her for first grade. So she has seen Caitlin grow all the way up. Okay, I don't want to miss my turn to get my friend. She said, no, don't forget me tomorrow. I said, I won't forget you. It was a little bit of a wacky day today, so I'll let you know the 411 later. I'm back in the town where I live, and you guess where I am? If you guessed Dollar Tree, you would be correct. So I'm gonna go in and get some things for my pumpkin festival basket. It's gonna be a tote or a bin or something. A mad science theme. I'm going to get some cool stuff to put in it. And I forgot to send the list home with my class today, but there's always tomorrow. And it's not due till next Thursday. So that gives them like the weekend and a whole week. So it'll be fine. So I will show you what I find in there after I come back because I can't film in there since I have a policy. I'm not going to break that. But I will show you what I got and I will let you know how the day went. It was really good. But you can tell weather's coming in because the kids were really chatty today. All right, I'll check back with you in a little bit. Okay, I found all kinds of goodies at Dollar Tree and I felt like a weirdo sitting in the parking lot. So I'm not going to show you in the parking lot. But I'll show you when I get home in my driveway because I won't feel like such a weirdo there. So I'm gonna head home, but on the way, I'll tell you about my day because I didn't get to talk to you much at all today because I had Lunch Bunch book club today during my lunchtime, which was amazing. So I have 7 lovely second graders joining me on Wednesdays now for Lunch Bunch, and we're reading, is it The Incredible Ratzos? Something like that. But it's cute. It's Ralphie and Louie Ratzo and their dad, Big Lou, and their rats, obviously. And the gist of the story is that their dad's tough and he doesn't like softies, so they don't take the bus, they walk to school. And one's a 5th grader, one's a 3rd grader, and they try to be tough and like mean, but every time they do something that they intend to be mean, it turns out to be a good deed for someone. So they're like, ah! So we read the first 3 chapters of it during lunch today. And I didn't even eat. I forgot to eat because I was so involved in talking to the kids and asking them questions about the story and what do you think is going to happen next, and what do you think about this guy? Why do you think he said that? Why do you think he feels that way? You know, just asking them things about the story. So I ended up eating a piece of pizza after school today because I had some cold pizza in my fridge from when my husband and I ordered pizza on Sunday. That's okay. I will be fine. I'll have dinner when I get home. But the day was good. So for Power Hour, we did some more story problems with the cube strategy. My kids went to PE today. After PE, we came back and we did math, which was our last lesson of chapter 2, which was using the greater than, less than, equal signs for comparing numbers, 3-digit numbers. I did really well with that. So that's the last section of that. And then we get to do our place value review with Monstrous Inc. stuff. I'm so excited. So that'll be tomorrow and Friday. And I got my inflatable monsters. I'll show you those later because I took them to school and I brought them back home because I think I want to just bring them to school inflated and I can just put them in a trash bag and the kids won't see them until they're supposed to. One of my doors got knocked loose because somebody was being a little squirrely in my classroom, and I'm gonna have to have my husband put it back up because I cannot reach them to save my life. I am way too short and he actually barely could reach them. Kind of being tippy-toe, not super safe on the ladder, but he needs to get some shoes at the super center that's in the town where I work, so hopefully they can talk him into swinging by my room and fixing that because we have 2 more days and I don't want that hanging by one side. So we'll see what we can do about that. Anyway, we finished the comprehension breakout after we did I Ready Math, and our firefighters came and showed us how their gear goes on. And I told you the other day or yesterday all about how the firefighters come and show us piece by piece the gear they put on, and they go, are you scared of me? And they put on more stuff. Are you scared of me? Because they don't want the kids to be scared and hide from them if there is a fire. So that was really cool. The kids loved it. After that, we did our last, there were 2 challenges left actually. of the Comprehension Breakout that is by Corey Markison and Chelsea McGowan from True Tales of a Teacher and Making Magic in Second. Coincidentally, neither one of them is in those grades anymore. Corey is now in 3rd grade and Chelsea is now in 5th, but that is okay. The kids loved it. So their final challenges today were the context clues and matching letters to the monsters. So kind of like character traits almost, or like a narrative, because the letters were written by the monsters and you had to match which monster you thought wrote which letter, and that gave you the code to the final box. And in that box I had put a sticky note saying, please see Mrs. Bond. So when they found that, they're like, hey, there's no key. And I said, there should be a note in that one. So they came over to me and they're like, it says to see you. I said, yes, you have solved the final challenge. Great job, friends. Please go sit on whatever color on the rug and wait for your friends to finish, and then we will all open that final box together and get our treats. And they were so excited. So as groups finished, I put on the 3D animated, hey, that's my monster that we had found on YouTube, and I'll link that for you because it's really cute. So you might want to show that to your class. So they got to see all the versions that I could find. Storyline Online with Rita Moreno, and then the 3D one, and there was another one that I started, and the kids were kind of like, can we watch the 3D one again? I'm like, yeah, you can watch that again. So we did that, plus I had read it to them originally. Whoop, wake up strips. Anyway, that was really cool. And then I will show you what was in the final box, because I took a picture. Woo, we're on the gravel, as you can tell. Wow, it's really rough. I took a picture of what the lockbox looked like before I locked it up and before the kids devoured everything in it. So I gave them monster tentacles, which were sour gummy worms, which were so tasty. I ate one, it was really good. And monster eyeballs, which were Reese's peanut butter cup eyeballs, which I found at Target yesterday. They loved it. And there were enough of the gummy worms for them to get 2. And then each got 1 monster eyeball because there weren't enough of those. So let me see if I have anything in my mailbox. I should have a Franny K. Stein, number 7, because I didn't actually have number 7 in my room. Okay, well, it's not here, but maybe it's on my porch. Let's just go see, shall we? Sure. Okay, so then we had lunch, and I had the Lunch Bunch Book Club, and the kids were fun, and they thought the story was cool, and they enjoyed themselves, and it was just a really nice time. And like I said, I forgot to eat, so I ate later. That's okay. I had eaten a breakfast, though, so I was good. And after that, we had Read Aloud, and we thought we were going to finish Keen Afford, but not quite. So there's just a little bit of her left, like maybe 1.5 chapters, possibly. And then we'll be able to start Franny K. Stein, which, I believe is sitting on my porch as we speak. I see a little Amazon envelope, so that's got to be that. And after that, they went to recess, and then we came back, and the kids read for AR and went to the library, and I reading tested and finished with 1 student and started with another one, and she needs to read another book because she did so awesome on the first one. So I have her to finish, and then 2 more friends tomorrow, and I'm done. So excited. And then I can send all my data to my instructional coach, and then I can reformulate my groups so we can start fresh next week, which will be awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and open my garage, but then I'm gonna show you all the amazing things I found at Dollar Tree. After, where did I leave off? Testing. We had the MacBook cart, and kids got to do iReady Reading. They love doing it on the MacBooks because it's different. Now I'll show you what I got. Yes. So, I got some cute little Halloween plates. And I got some, I got some napkins too. Cute little napkins to go with the plates. Because I like monsters. I'm not into witches and ghosts and stuff, but I like monsters and Frankenstein and stuff. I got these little notepads for little prizes for my kids that have all their pencils for the pencil challenge. I thought those would be cute. And so, of course, I had to get 2 of these. Oh, I should have gotten 3 of these. That's only 16. Maybe they can have a choice, because I didn't think, I don't know why I thought there were 16 in a package. guess I'm brain dead. Okay, well anyway, that's okay because there's other stuff too. So for my Mad Science basket, I got this bucket. I thought this would be good. Take some stuff out. That'd be a nice size to put the science experiment stuff in. And then, oh, I got some little masks just to give the sciencey feel to it, and some gloves because they're going to be squishing slime and stuff. And then I got some, if I can find them, oh, goggles, because every scientist needs goggles for safety. This is for fear factor because I'm going to make a jello brain for them to feel. Oh yeah, and it's probably have some spaghetti noodles around too. I got several of these little eyeball packages because I thought they would be great for math, because I have those little pumpkin ice cube trays and these would fit in them very nicely. So I got 2 blue, 2 yellow, and 2 red, and there's 12 in each one, so that's a lot. 12 times 6 would be what, 72 eyeballs. So they jingle a little bit. Okay, so there's those. And then what else did I get? I had to get some more bubblegum eyeballs because eyeballs, right? Halloween eyeballs, yeah. That would be fun. And look what else I found. Monster gummies. Now these only had like 12 pieces in a pack. So I got 2 of these because I could do the math on these apparently, but not the other things. So I figured that would be a good little monster treat when they finish their challenges for math on Friday. They asked me, are we gonna get a treat for math too? And I said, yeah. So I have the Monster cereals that I'll make Monster Mix with for their snack. But this is not a snack. This is a treat. Totally different thing. What else did I get? I think there's more of the same. Oh, and I got some pixie sticks, because this is actually one of the, not ingredients, but supplies for one of the science experiments. And I might actually make some little science kits to send home with my kids. There might be some duplicates of the experiments I put in the pumpkin festival basket, because I think my kids will love it. I made little Halloween science kits last year, and you would have thought that I gave my kids $1 million, because they were like, it said spooky science on it or something. And it's a resource that I got from Teachers Pay Teachers. So I will link it below for you. It's very affordable, the resources. And then you just can pick and choose which experiments you want to do. And then you put not every supply needed, because sometimes it's like water and a bowl and a measuring cup and stuff. You don't need that stuff. But like, it's stuff like vinegar, baking soda, pixie sticks, rubber bands, things like that that kids may not have at home on hand for things, but most other stuff that will have like salt and all that kind of stuff. So yes, this is one of the experiment ingredients. And I really think that's it, because everything else is just like multiples of the same thing. Like I have a lot of eyeballs. And I have lots of candy. So I think that's everything, except for I got 2 sets of these cups, not for the Halloween party, but for a subtraction game. Have you ever heard of like bears in a cave or whatever? It's kind of like if you know you had 10 and there's this many out of the cave, how many are in the cave? So they have to do the missing number, find the missing number. So that's what we've been doing as part of our addition and subtraction in Power Hour Math, which is math interventions. And I thought this would be a fun little way to play it tomorrow and make it a game for the kids. And I actually have a resource that's made by Sarah Cooley. It's candy corn mathtivities, and you actually use candy corn, and you hide the candy corn under cups. And she actually has, you can use whatever cups you want. She has little like monster and ghoul like cutouts you can put on them. But I'm like, I'm not gonna bother with that because it's tomorrow that I want to do this. So I thought, I'll just get little Halloween cups. That'd be cute. I have a jillion candy corns, so that'll be fine. And you don't have to have good candy corn. Like I buy them at the end of the season of Halloween and on clearance, and I just save them. And if they're like stale and hard, it doesn't matter, because you're just going to use them for manipulatives anyway. But I also get like fresh ones that I can give the kids so they can have a couple pieces, because they feel really cheated if you don't give them some candy that you've been using. So we don't want to eat the nasty candy, but we get the fresh candy. All right, I think that's everything. Oh, but I lied. There's more. I got some more of these little Halloween erasers as a prize for the kids having all of their pencils because they love these things. And these are just, I don't even know, bats and vampires and monsters and all kinds of doodads there. I got these last year. My kids went crazy over them. They love them. Oh, and here's the other thing. Yeah, I thought there was something else. Got some tape measures because when we do the pumpkin catapults again, they're supposed to measure distance. And instead of just trying to shoot into a bucket this time, I want them to actually measure the distance and track it on their sheets. So I got 7 of these because I'm probably going to have 6 groups, and then I wanted like a spare. So $1 for a tape measure. I hope it's fairly decent. I mean, should be, right? I mean, it's a tape measure. It's not that complicated, so should be good. I do have little tape measures packed away somewhere, but when I moved to my 2nd grade classroom, I did not put them in the same place that I had them in my 1st grade classroom, so I don't know what I did with them. They're probably on a shelf in my closet in the back. And so, nope, not gonna worry about it. So these are good. And these are sturdier anyway. The other ones I had were little plastic ones, and they could have been broken pretty easily. So these will be nice. Okay, that is my haul. That is all for my haul. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna feed all the cats. I told my husband I would not change out of my clothes and into my pajamas and take my makeup off and all that stuff until he let me know if he wanted to go somewhere after work today. He talked about going last night, and I'm like, I'm in my pajamas. I really don't want to get changed back into clothes again. And I had already taken my contacts out and everything. You know how it is. I'm sure I'm not the only one that comes home and just like basically gets ready for bed whenever you get home because you're just thinking about resting. But I told him I would hold off on that until I knew if he wanted to go get his shoes. And hopefully, like I said, he can fix that door that's hanging wonky now. It's hanging by one corner, and I'm afraid it's gonna rip. So hopefully we can just do that on the way and get it done real fast. So, yep, that's everything. All right, I'm gonna go get my stuff brought in the house. Some of this stuff can just, well, pretty much most of it can stay in the house. Pretty much most of it can stay in the car. Hello. Because it's gonna go to school. So why bring it in and bring it out again? That would be crazy. Yep. All right. On that goofy note, I'm going to go in and do all the things. So I'll see you tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Woo! It is raining like crazy today. Whoa. Hello. I'm getting ready to go home and it is raining again, but not so hard. So I put a garbage bag over my rolly cart. I'll show you right here. So I got my umbrella and I'm ready to go. A long time no speak. So when I last saw you, it was raining and it's still raining. It's been raining all day. Fantastic. So we had inside recess, of course. The day was fine. It was just gross outside. So I haven't talked to you all day long. So let me catch you up on the day. In Power Hour today for our math intervention time, we played a subtraction game because we're working on counting up to subtract. So, plus story problems. It's like bears in a cave, if you've ever heard of that. So, you have partners, and they have a cup of manipulatives. I use snap cubes, and I changed it to a trick-or-treating game, because I had like a recording sheet from a center or something, and it was like trick-or-treaters. Trick-or-treat, how many treats did we eat? And there was a little spot on there that said, I see X number of treats. The trick-or-treater ate this many. So I gave each partnership a cup of 20 cubes, so those were the candies. And the cup was the trick-or-treat bucket. The partner would grab however many of the candies they wanted and put them in the cup and flip the cup over so they were hidden in the bucket. And the other student could see what was left on the outside, just laying on the desk. And they had to figure out how many were still in the cup, in the trick-or-treat bucket. So they had to count what was outside the cup and then count up from that to figure out how many were left. Or they could subtract, just whatever, because it was from 20. So we were subtracting from 20 and we were finding the missing number. And I think they really enjoyed it because they got to each do it. So after the partner put the candies in the trick-or-treat cup, then the other person got to figure out how many were in there, and they wrote it down on their sheet. Then they traded, and the other person got to put the candies in the cup and hide them. So I think they had a good time. It was fun. It took the entire time because I made it to where they had 10 turns each, and I don't think anyone finished. But that is okay. We have a good 25 minutes once we get started and give directions and things. So they got to play for a good 25 minutes. So that was pretty nice. Then my kids went to the library and they got to change their books if they were ready to. Then we came back and we had snack, and I had gotten some of that like spooky Captain Crunch, the Halloween kind that turns the milk green, which we don't have milk, so they didn't see that part, but anyway, it does that if you put it in milk. So the ones that didn't like that, they could have a fruit snack. After that, we did our monster math. So they were scare recruits again, and I put my little hat on. I did not put my costume on today. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going all out. Be wearing my little CDA costume, Child Detection Agency. I'll be having my little sucker upper, dryer hose, and everything. So that'll be tomorrow, and it's supposed to be super cold. If you live in the north, it's not going to sound super cold to you. So like Michigan and stuff, you're going to be like, that is not cold. But around here, cold. 45 is the high for tomorrow. 45 and super rainy. So it's going to be a good day to wear my sweatsuit, which is what I'm going to call this thing, because it's made of like rubber and plastic. And you know, there's no air. There's no breathability in that. So it's going to get stuffy in there. But I will not be cold. So I'm going to wear shorts underneath it. So I'll come to school in normal clothes, and then when the kids are at art tomorrow, I will change into that, and I will pick them up in that probably. Unless I can have my partner teacher pick them up, and they'll be surprised. No, I'll just pick them up in that. And then we'll come up to our room and we'll do the rest of our Monsters Inc. place value review. So today they did their Scare Recruit booklets, where it was 10 different questions all about place value. So it was a great review of chapter 2 for us. It had comparing numbers. It had what is the value of this digit. It had different forms of numbers. It had what number is represented by this model. It was really good. And then they had to figure out a couple of them. So there was one about doors. Like, so many doors were shredded on Monday, so many doors were shredded on Tuesday. The next day, like, less doors were shredded than on Monday, but more than on Tuesday, so they had to figure out which number fit those clues. They did pretty good on that. I was pretty impressed. Then there was one that was very similar to that, that was about scream totals. And, oh, I forgot to take a picture of my scream cans. I'll show you. I'll just set them up again. I had the scream canisters made, and I made some fancier ones this year. I did have them made for last year, but this year I fancied it up and I made them on the computer instead of just drawing them, which it was so much easier that way. I printed them out and I laminated them with my home laminator so they're super sturdy, and they are not going to fall apart anytime soon. So I also made, you saw me a few weeks ago making bajillions of those little answer cards because I wanted there to be like 20 of each answer so that there were enough for each kid to pick the answer they thought was right. And they got to use the little spy pen light to see which one had the right answer on it. So after they answered the question in their booklet, they went to that scream canister that corresponded to the number that they were on, question number, and they got out the answer card that matched what they circled, A, B, C, or D. And they got to use the little lights on the end of the little invisible ink pens to shine on the back of the card to see if there was something on it. If there wasn't anything on it, it wasn't the right answer. So they had to go back to their booklet and try again because they knew that one was wrong and they had to fix it. If they got it right, though, depending on what it said on the back of their card, they got a certain number of tally marks, and each tally mark was worth 10. So if it said 20 on the back of their card, they got 2 tally marks. If it didn't say anything in the back, like if it had a star, they got 1 tally mark. If it had an exclamation point, they got 2 tally marks. So that was pretty cool. They liked it. I did give out the scream bonuses. So I told them what the expectations were for behavior, and they did really well. I had one student that wasn't being a very good listener and was kind of doing their own thing after I'd already talked to them once. And so I did give them a scream lost go sit like in the penalty box, which was in the cubby area, just for a few minutes. And then I went and talked to them and asked them what was going on and if they didn't understand what they were supposed to be doing, or were they just doing what they wanted to do no matter what. And I don't really know what the situation was, but we talked about it. And then I said, okay, I think you're ready to go back to the screen floor, carry on with your training. So they did. So when they completed their booklet today, I had them put them on the table until everyone was finished, and then they got to sit on the rug and we read a story. And then I went over all of the questions with everybody. I had them get their booklets back. I had my terrific kid and a helper pass them out to the kids, and they looked at the questions and we went through them and how you figure out the answer, because you know, sometimes they just don't always work through the problems. They might have gotten the answer from a friend or something. I did have the kids divided into 5 teams, and each team was a different color, but you did not have to work with your team. It was really an individual thing, but the people that had the same color booklet as you were the ones you were to go to if you had a question about something. Because I had mixed abilities in every group intentionally. So I had some higher readers, some lower readers, some higher kids in math, some lower kids in math. So it was mixed up. That way they could all help each other. And it worked out really well. So I helped too, of course. I was always available, but I was like the last resort. I wanted them to help themselves first before they came to me, because I wanted them to try to work through it. And I didn't give them the answers. I just gave them little hints to get them over their struggle of just a tiny bit. Like, not all of the struggle, but I would give them a hint as to what else to try. Because you don't want to just make it easy, because there's no point. But we did make sure to go through all of the answers and how you got the answer and why that was how you did it and all that. Because it was a review for our assessments for the end of the quarter testing. That's why I'm doing all of this. It is for fun, but there's a purpose behind it. It's not just to fill time, for sure. Because who has time for that, right? We all have things we need to do. So we did the ELA practice on Monday and Wednesday. So Monday and yesterday. And then today and tomorrow is all math practice. So then we'll be ready for testing next week. So I'll be testing on the place value concepts on Monday, plus some ELA things. So we've got character traits, we have inferencing, we have sequencing, retelling. So all of that was practiced in these things, and we've been practicing them with other things too. This was like the final review before the testing, because I wanted everyone to get review on this stuff. When they finished their booklets today, I gave them a little treat, and we watched Lily Tomlin read Hey, That's My Monster, which is the sequel to I Need My Monster. And they really enjoyed it. It's about the little sister and the monster going to her, and then her getting her own monster. So they enjoyed that, and they got to have some Sour Patch Zombies while they watched that. That was their little treat. They really, really liked it. They're like, oh, we love these. I'm like, yay. And after that, it was lunchtime. So we got ready for lunch. Went to lunch. Came back. We finished Arcana Ford. So all 3 books of those are done. And we'll be ready to start our new Franny K sign tomorrow. And book number 7 should be on my front porch right now, or in my mailbox possibly. Because if you know my saga, I ordered the boxed set of the Franny K sign a couple years ago. And I thought it had 1 through 7, but it actually had 1 through 6. And I didn't realize there was a 7. So I thought I had all of them. So I ordered what I thought was the next one, which was actually 8. So I got that yesterday. And then, or 2 days ago. And then I ordered number 7 because I thought I had it, and I don't, because my box set didn't come with it. It came with 6, not 7. It's a long story longer. Anyway, number 7 should be here today. So we can start it tomorrow. So we have 2 more Franny K signs that we can read, and the kids are super, super excited. They love Franny K Stein. They enjoy her. She's a hoot. And it's just fun. So this class just loves listening to stories, which I'm so happy for. And they also love science. So this is like the perfect mix. Makes me a happy teacher. I've had kids tell me after lunch, I'm like, okay, let's get ready for us to read. Like, this is my favorite time of the day. And I'm like, oh, me too. I'm so happy you said that. Oh. It does make me super happy when kids are excited to listen to stories. Yes, I love it. I love reading to them. I love talking about reading. I love listening to them read, which is why the reading testing is, you know, kind of enjoyable. I mean, it's a lot of work and it takes a long time, but it's really nice to be able to sit one-on-one and listen to the students read to you. It's awesome. So I did get another student tested today, and I have 2 more left. I have one super high reader, so they'll probably just read 1 book, and then I have one that's a mid-level reader. So I'm going to finish them tomorrow morning during ketchup and pickles time, while the other students are doing iReady and AR. That'll be good, because I can borrow one of the other teachers' iPads while they're at special class, because we go to special class first and then we come back and then they go to special class, so their iPads are available. We trade each other's iPads back and forth. So she uses ours when we're at specials, and then when she goes to specials, we use hers. So then we have a whole class set of them, which is really handy. And I'm going to say goodbye, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Good afternoon, it's lunchtime. My kiddos are eating their lunch in the cafeteria. It is Terrific Kid Friday, so my Terrific Kid gets to sit on the stage. I just found a paper on the floor. Put it in this little person's cubby. I'm not even gonna deal with this mess. We'll fix it when we clean up later. Okay, so I added a few things to my room. One thing is this little dude. Isn't he cute? And I have one over here. One little guy here. And one little guy over here. Let's find him. He reminds me of Sully a little bit. Isn't that cute? Get a little closer up. So cute. Those are my inflatable monsters from Amazon. I will link them below for you. And then today, their 2 challenges were what's behind the door. So it's figuring out skip counting. They went all the way to P, but I didn't make them do all of them. They got to skip around and pick which ones they wanted to do. So they only needed to do 7 because that was a lot of brain work for them. So they're all over the room. They went from this side all the way around. So they're everywhere. I may leave them up. I don't know. I don't feel like taking stuff down right now. And the other thing was, I called it Monster War. So it's comparing numbers. I totally forgot to give them the little monster compare cards, but that's okay. So they got sets of number cards. Try to show you real fast here. Get open. Ah, there we go. Okay, and it was different forms of the number, so they had to read them. Sometimes they were in word form. Sometimes they were in expanded form. And sometimes they were in, I can find one, standard form. So I had them deal the cards out evenly, and then I said, okay, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a monster war. And then they would flip over their top cards and compare the numbers. And there's a sheet that they used to write them down. So they had to write their number and their partner's number and then put the right symbol to compare the numbers. And whoever had the bigger number card got to circle it, and they got a point. So when the activity was over, they counted up how many points they had and who was the winner. That was fun. And then the number line, whenever they got done with that, they got to pack, and I had things laid on the table to pack. And then I found a monster word search that they could work on because it was almost lunchtime. No, it was almost recess time. So I just had them do that. They really enjoyed it, and I gave them a little treat, and it was for finishing their challenges. They got monster gummies. These came from Dollar Tree, and they're just fruity. There's the fruity things there. They thought those were awesome. They're pretty good size too. And for snack, we had the Monster Mix, which is the Boo Berry, the Frankenberry, and the Count Chocula cereals all mixed up. So I just got these giant boxes at Target, and I just put them in a bowl. I have a green bowl, kind of like those back there. I just dump about 1/3 of the bowl of each kind in there and just mix up with a spoon. And I scoop it out into coffee filter bowls, and they have their little snack. They thought that was amazing. I was so happy they liked it. I'm not gonna worry about putting that back in there because it's too hard to do one-handed. Alrighty, we had art today. I'll flip the calendar. We have, after lunch, we have coding. We're gonna do, where did I put that? Trick or treat coding from Brooke Brown at Teach Outside the Box. So here's the map that they use. Here are the pieces that go in the pumpkin patch here. And there are the candies to get for treats. They're obstacles and enemies. And then I always give them 2 of these sheets, one to do in class and one that they can take home so they can do it again with their families. So I always send home all the pieces in a Ziploc bag for them so they can take it home and do it with their families. So we do a coding activity once a month. Then the other Fridays of the month we do science experiments and STEM. And the kids love it. They love it, love, love it. Whew, I'm gonna eat my lunch that I didn't eat the other day. I heated it and then never got back to it. So I just put it in the fridge. So I thought I should probably eat that. And it is looking really good. It's chicken and broccoli and penne with some kind of sauce. So I'm gonna eat that. And then it'll be time to go get the kiddos and we'll finish our day. I'll catch you later. And we get to leave early today because we had an early meeting this morning, so we get to leave early today. Yay, I'm so excited. Huh? Happy Friday, friends. Talk to you later. Good afternoon. I am finally leaving. It's a little after 5. Ugh. And we could leave early today, and I didn't. What a goof. But I was finishing up a few things in my room because I didn't want it to sit there and have to do it on Monday. So I had 2 pencil pouches. I just needed to check them and do the pencils, and I had to get my jobs rearranged for next week, classroom jobs, which that took just a few minutes really. And then I should have left, but then I was just like talking to people. So I went and talked to my buddy teacher about math next week with our intervention groups because we're doing the same type of thing. And I said, are you ready to move to the next lesson? And she's like, yeah. So I told her about one of the games that Mr. Elementary Math, Greg from Get Your Teach On, had told us about, which is, I think I told you about it like back in the summer, but here's the game. You could do this with any grade at all. So you get the collapsible laundry hampers. Like I showed you when I went to IKEA 1 or 2 times ago. Sorry about that. I got a phone call from my husband. So we're ordering pizza and I'm going to pick it up since I'm coming home so much later than he is. He was going to call it in. I'm going to pick it up. So supper is taken care of. Yay. Okay, I was telling you about a math game. Let me get back to that. So yes, you take 2 of the collapsible laundry hampers, like you can get them at IKEA. I've also found some at Five Below, and they're $5 a piece. So, you know, whatever. They also have them at like Walmart now and probably Target because they had like stuff in the college section recently. I saw some just not too long ago, like last week or so. Anyway, they're too expensive on Amazon, so I would not suggest going there. You don't want to pay $10 for each one. But then you fill them with some ball pit balls, like you would have in a ball pit, and you can get those on Amazon really cheap, or Wish if you're not in a big hurry. And then you get magnetic numbers, and you mix all that in there. And so you end up making a relay game out of it. So however many relay teams you want is how many of those containers of numbers you want. And so they can make addition sentences, subtraction sentences, multiplication, division, whatever. So they draw out however many numbers for whatever you're doing. And you can have them write the equation on a whiteboard and they have to solve it. Now you can make it to where it's harder, where they have to dig and find the number that's the answer. So that makes it take longer. So what I suggested to my buddy teacher and the teacher that's kind of catty corner from me, since we're all doing the same lesson type schedule for our power hour, which is our math intervention, I suggested we do the missing add-in with that because that's what we're working on, and that is our next lesson section, is the missing add-in, like focusing on that. So I was telling my teammates that you're welcome to borrow my materials if you want to do that game. So I also think they're going to do the cup game because that's a missing add-in game that we did in my class on Thursday yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. On Thursday yesterday. I'm very tired, obviously. I told them we could just switch around materials. Like, we just plan, you know, you want to do this game Monday, you want to do this game Tuesday, you want to do this game Wednesday or whatever. So we'll just flip-flop the materials. because I have obviously everything. Because I have the ball pit balls, because I went home after that Get Your Teach On conference all pumped up for new ideas, and I went ahead and ordered some ball pit balls from Wish, because it was like the first week of July when I came home, and I'm like, I'm not in a big hurry to get the ball pit balls. I don't need them till like September, so yeah, I can wait 6 to 8 weeks for them to get here. And I had them by the time school started, so I was ready. And they've just been sitting in a bin in my house. So I'm ready to put those games together. So yeah, they can borrow my stuff. That'll be fun. It'll be something different, another way for them to practice missing at end in a more fun way. They've done the paper pencil way. They've watched the iReady videos and, you know, done the lesson sequence or whatever, and found them that way. We've used people as the story problems, and we've used people as the equations. I always have students come up and be the objects in the equation, and then they solve for the whatever. So we've tried every way I can think of. So now we just need to amp it up a little bit and put some games in there for them to practice. And there are a couple of center games that go with the next lesson section, which is 4 of first grade. And because I have the below level, some of the below level kids, and I didn't look at them super closely. They didn't really look necessarily like something we might be able to do real easily, but I'll look at them again because I just kind of did an overview of them to get some ideas. But maybe I could modify them just a little bit with the materials that we have, possibly. So I told the other ones that are doing the same lesson schedule as me, because there are like 4 of us that are doing the same thing. I told them I would look for some games. Like I have tons and tons and tons of math games because math is kind of my jam. So I've made lots of math games, and I bought lots of math games, and I find lots of math games for free on websites and Teachers Pay Teachers. So I'm sure I can come up with some more stuff that will fit our model that we need to be teaching and let the kids practice a little more. All right, I'm gonna go get pizza, and I'm gonna head home and enjoy my pizza, and feed my kitties and snuggle them and say hi to my husband and enjoy my evening. So I hope you had a great week, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.